And today I am very excited to welcome back a previous guest expert, Joseph Mercado, who is a self-empowerment expert, mentor, author, and creator and founder of Mastermind University. And Joseph will be sharing the wisdom from his book, The Undiscovered You, Healing Your Negative Thoughts Using the Law of Replacement, and introduce you to Mastermind University. Today you will discover your true nature and purpose through the concept of healing your negative thoughts. And boy, do we have those, right? And the way you think defines the way you live, and the way you live elaborates the person who you will ultimately become. In order to go where you've never gone, you must do whatever you've never done. And you need to take authority today and make a positive difference for yourself by refusing to settle for less when you are capable and able to inherit more greatness into your life. So welcome into the Coach Cafe, Joe.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you again for the opportunity. And just looking forward to the great energy exchange and positive influence that we get to share.
Well, as I mentioned, Joe's been in the Coach Cafe a few times now because he really has quite a powerful message for everyone. And he is an entrepreneur. He's a successful businessman. He has created businesses in his life, and he's now become an author of a wonderful book, The Undiscovered You, Healing Your Negative Thoughts Using the Law of Replacement. And a lot of people probably don't know what that law of replacement is, and we're going to go into that, Joe. But just before we get into a few questions here, let people know a little bit about you, in the first couple of minutes here, about how you even came to write your book and create Mastermind University.
Absolutely. So it all evolved when I was a young child, and a lot of it had started out when I was in elementary school, and I was always being told by teachers that I would never become anything in life. And it was a thing right before junior high. One of my teachers had suggested and made it a focal point that I would be put into modified classes because I didn't have the capability to be put in regular classes and succeed at that level. So as a result, I always felt that I had a point to prove, or maybe it was just something that, maybe to prove the teachers wrong, to show that I can do it, that I am capable, and that if I am going through things like that, or maybe that there's other people that are experiencing the same thing, and I could be a leading example or a great influence to others, that no matter what anybody tells you on in a negative perspective, that not only can it be turned around to something positive, but, we as human beings, that, we have more than just what we're told that we can or cannot do. Mm-hmm. And from that, it led into me spending a lot of time at night picking up the Bible, studying the dictionary, looking at terms, and picking up self-help books at a really young age. It started around the age 7, and it carried on more until about age 11. And I just found that, I could never sleep at night. I always had a hard time, going to bed as a child. And I said, I need to utilize my time wisely. And so I would think about these things that the teachers would say, and it would get to me a little bit. And I have to admit that, humbly, that, not only did it bother me, but it also felt like, maybe there's something that I could do to change, this direction or this perspective of what these teachers would see, for whatever reason they did. So by reading and feeding my mind with nutritious information and, studying and memorizing and absorbing this content, I felt that it has brought me to, a place in my life where it would eventually bring me to a place where I would have more direction, a broader and clearer vision, and really be able to have a definitive purpose of why I'm here, because I always felt that, why are we here? We just we appear out of nowhere. It's like, how do we get here? Why are we here? And all these things we start questioning. And even as a big, firm, and faithful believer in God, and knowing that there's a path, of light that leads us, to a better lifestyle. And a lot of that we encounter through our personal experiences and observations made from, through other people's experiences in life. So, that has been a big foundation as to, me developing and writing the book, which it became, before The Undiscovered You, there must have been there's a total of anywhere between maybe 50, 60, maybe even more revisions before it became the Undiscovered You. It started actually out as the psychology of motivational marketing, then it became into the psychology of the entrepreneur, and then how to become a self-taught entrepreneur. So I was figuring out all these things and just testing different titles, different keywords, different combinations of things that just relate to life, and the fact that I was on this path as an entrepreneur. I said, how can I puzzle piece all of these things, these images together, and display an image onto the canvas of people's minds and life? And that's where a lot of it led to.
And I love what you just said there, Joe. And, this is so interesting to me, and you probably found this, too, as someone who, very young in life, you were told that you really didn't have what it took, right? And, that's certainly going to leave an imprint on a little young mind and heart, right? And you had the inspiration to, I love the way you said nutritious information. Didn't you tell me that you were pretty young? You read Tony Robbins. I mean, you were a young guy. And that's pretty revealing right there, that you were definitely bound to go into your adulthood with a much different perspective of yourself to continue to do what you've done, which is become an author and a successful entrepreneur and creating something that's coming up that we're definitely going to share with people. So I love that, because it's such a story that I hear with the most successful people, as people who are entrepreneurs like you and I, and really wanting to make a difference in the world, and we spend the time feeding ourselves with those stories. They have a similar beginning. So
yes,
it's kind of like a sign that you're probably going to be very successful if you're sitting out there listening to going, yeah, I had that experience too. So that's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
And how will your book help the undiscovered? How is it going to help a person's mind? Because we've talked about this so many times, and we get on the phone. We can spend quite a lot of time, right, Joe?
That's absolutely right.
About all this stuff, and sharing how we feel and wanting to help so many people. And the quality of your thoughts does determine the quality of your life. So what do you do about that when they seem to be in control of you? And, we know about the fact that it can become quite difficult when it becomes a habit that you have to think very negative thoughts about yourself, first of all, that I think is the most important thing to notice, and, your life and other people. So how will your book help a person's mind?
That's an excellent question. And the way the Undiscovered You is going to help an individual's mindset is not only improve their quality of thinking, but the ultimate question is, how so? How is that possible, and how do you do that? And, by doing that, it really is a matter of practice. Now, there's an old saying, like, practice makes perfect. I concur. I actually believe a little differently that, practice is what permeates more positive habits and behaviors. So going back a few steps is that in order to help a person before they can change their thought process, they have to be willing to change a habit. So how do you change a habit? You change habits by challenging new behaviors. When you challenge a new behavior in which a mind is willing to engage in positive change through subconscious thought, then you're able to not only challenge a new behavior, reconform and reconstruct an old habit into a new habit, but it's ultimately when you decide and make that decision that you want to go from negative to positive. And once you say, I had enough is enough, I'm not going to do this anymore, I don't want to think this way anymore, I need to create new habits and become a better person, during that transition, when you take something that's negative and you say, well, I need to replace it, is where the universal law of replacement comes in, I need to replace it with something positive, you have to take that very positive thing, and now you have to practice it on a daily basis and be consistent about it until it becomes a permanent habit where it reflects, the person who you want to become, and ultimately you transition into that individual. And the law of replacement says, what you replace with one from the other is what you eventually become. And the healing process is really just the point in the time where you make that decision that you're going to go from negative to positive. And negatives are okay. There's nothing wrong with them. You have to have a balance. You have to have, there's a reason why negatives exist. It's just that for most people, they make it a permanent lifestyle because they don't know other way. They feel comfortable in that comfort zone, and they just don't know. They don't know how. They're just not pre-programmed, or they're conditioned to think and speak and act a certain way as a result of the information and influence that people become fed with from when they're children. And these things stay throughout time. And that's why it's so important that, the Undiscovered You helps a person by revealing different keywords, positive keywords that we use in everyday language, and also the negatives, and how to rotate a negative into a positive by replacing them with things that make you feel good, or people that bring joy to your life, or going places that make you feel at home, or make you feel good about yourself, that carry good energy. All of these things, the more you surround yourself in that atmosphere of being, it makes it a lot easier to develop more positive practices where you create those habits, and that's how you improve your quality of thinking and attract a more beneficial and positive lifestyle.
That was great. That was really great. And I love the fact that you said that there's nothing wrong with your negative thinking. Don't condemn them. I think it's very important because it's a part of you. That would mean that you're condemning yourself. And I'm all about spreading the message of the most important thing is that you do love yourself. Even when you're feeling the worst about yourself, you can do this with the help. That's why, we are coaches. We help people. We want to help you to get there where you can then be self-empowered to be able to do this on your own, and you can. But when they have been practicing, just like anything, if you practice an instrument a lot, you'll probably get real good at it, and you don't even know anymore that you're doing it because they do become automatic because it's a habit now. But I like the fact that we make peace with the fact that we are going to probably have them come up. And I always direct people to their heart. Put your hand on your heart, at least soften that a bit, just like you would if someone was standing before you, a friend or a child that's feeling like that. And then ask for the help. And that's what we're all about in the Coach Cafe, and I know that's what you're all about, Joe. And, so that was really wonderful. And I'm going to reiterate, ask for the help, because it's pretty challenging when they become such a deep ingrained habit. But you can absolutely replace them, and that's why I love what you're bringing up here. And what are the puzzle pieces which make up the Undiscovered You?
Excellent question. And the puzzle pieces that make up the Undiscovered You are the keywords that we use, again, in everyday language, the law of replacement itself, the positive and negative energies, and also you, ultimately, as the experience to it all. So with those 5 forms of variation of the puzzle pieces are what make up the Undiscovered You. And when you put those all together, it helps you discover your true inner nature and the purpose that you have in this life to not only become a better you, but also to help other people pry out or tap into the unknown negatives that they don't even know they have, so they can become a better person within themselves.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Very, very important to understand those pieces. And, one of the things I see too, Joe, and that's why I love the fact that there are so many resources and there are people like you that are going into creating more and more of these resources. And we're going to come back after a little break to continue the conversation and bring up Mastermind University, but that we offer this education. This is I call it the missing education, because you didn't have this information when you were a child, unless you went to quite an advanced school. And they left this kind of stuff out. To me, Joe, is one of the hardest things for us to, it's like we were not given what we really need to be able to navigate this life and feel balanced and feel like you can instead of you can't, and feel very, very powerful in your ability to create your best life. So when we come back, we're going to get into a little bit about Mastermind University. This show goes by so quick, I want to make sure we get it in, and we will be right back after this short sponsor break.
We know that pure, clean water is necessary to experience optimal health and well-being. Water is pollutants. Multi-Pure drinking water systems provide clean, healthy water whenever you need it, right at your kitchen sink. When you choose to filter your water with our point-of-use countertop, below-the-counter, whole house, or reverse osmosis water filtration system, you have the peace of mind knowing what is in your water. At the same time, you are no longer contributing to the enormous number of plastic bottles that are polluting the planet while saving you money because you don't need to buy bottled water anymore. Multi-Pure's innovative filter technology provides exceptional performance. The proof lies in the product's NSF International certification and its ability to reduce a wide range of contaminants that affect both your health and the aesthetics of the water without removing beneficial minerals in the water. This makes Multi-Pure water ideal for everything from drinking to cooking to showering. So visit us at HamptonsPureWater.com today. That's www.HamptonsPureWater.com.
And we are back, and I'm reminding you that you are in the Coach Cafe, the self-empowerment place to meet where you get your weekly cup of inspiration. Again, I am your host, certified life coach, known as your balanced life coach, Kathleen Martin. And be sure to visit me at KathleenMartinCoaching.com. And while you're there, you can pick up your gifts from me for leaving your information, which is my quick coaching 5-part audio series that I know will help you to live your best life. For 5 days, you'll receive a short audio, very powerful, and an action that you'll take every day. And I highly recommend that you do them every day because they are definitely going to help you to become more self-empowered in your life. And you can also download your coaching wheel tool to see which areas of your life that you need more balance. And that's where I come in, because if you sign up for your discovery session with me, no obligation whatsoever, I can help you to see if life coaching is for you. So be sure to visit me at KathleenMartinCoaching.com. And Joe, before we get into our discussion about Mastermind University, please let everyone know how they can reach out to you.
Sure, absolutely. So anybody who's listening today can reach out to me via email. My email is Mercado, that's Mercado, J as in Joseph, at Outlook.com. Again, that's Mercado, Mercado, J as in Joseph, at Outlook.com. You can also reach me, my direct line, at 631-494-4421. Again, the number is 631-494-4421. And feel free to visit my website at thelawofreplacement.com. Again, that's www.thelawofreplacement.com.
Great. Yeah, you definitely want to reach out to Joe. And let's talk about Mastermind University, because you have taken a great step into creating something quite extraordinary for people in your Mastermind University online resource to become, educated and have so much opportunity to learn from other experts how to live your best life and to become an entrepreneur. So let everybody know about Mastermind University and how you came to create it.
Absolutely. Mastermind University is an online learning facility. Think of it as like an entrepreneurial incubator, because the purpose of it is to help people develop more life skills in the sense and the mindset of an entrepreneur. So if you're an entrepreneur or looking to become an entrepreneur, where you want to have your own business, we have online classes, courses, programs, and workshops in which we offer with various educators that have proven track records and life success, that can help an individual get on the right track, or get on the right path. Or someone who's just beginning and they're not sure, what do I do? How do I go about things? There's a sequence, and a lot of entrepreneurs seek to miss the boat of opportunity when it comes to finding the right sequence, as a business person, to really develop the right skills that are necessary. And if somebody's not sure of something, the best thing to do is to go to somebody who, has already discovered, the process or the pattern that leads to the positive results. So with a team of educators, we're allowed to, it enables us to help give out the direction and provide positive information to people that really want to become somebody in life based on what they love to do. So it's like taking your passion and turning it into a profession, and that is truly living one's life purpose.
Absolutely, and that's what you definitely need to do. Sit with yourself and ask yourself these questions. And again, with the help of Mastermind University and reaching out to Joe, you will get on track. And to become a successful person in life is the entrepreneurial spirit. Even if you decide to become whatever that very standard education will give you, such as, if you decide to become a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor or whatever the case may be, include, in my opinion, becoming an entrepreneur, because then you are creating what it is that will express who you truly are. And if you don't do that, you'll be miserable, in my opinion. And you will. You'll constantly be walking around feeling empty, and you'll think that you can't, create this life that you are creating certainly your livelihood through. And I like to say, you don't want to just make a living, you want to make a life worth living. And you don't get this information, and you're not really given that message in school. It's really more survival to me. It's like, just get out and survive. So, find out what that is. And there are a lot of wonderful coaches. I hope you reach out to me and Joe to help you to find out what that is and get on track and begin to do it, because you will feel so much better in your life as you express who you truly are. And you will be amazed at how you can create that life worth living and that income being that person. So Mastermind University is an awesome resource, and you're going to definitely want to tap into it as it's being created here. So be sure to visit Joe on his website. Are you putting information about that on your website as well, Joe? Mastermind, or is that a separate link?
Yes, no, there's some information that's been put up, and there'll be more that's added where people can find that information on www.masterminduniverse.net.
Okay, masterminduniverse.net. And how about, I know your Facebook page, too, is pretty active with, informing people and what's happening as you're creating it, too, right?
Yes, absolutely. And people could also, find Mastermind University. Actually, if they just type in Mastermind University, they'll see MMU come up in the Facebook search box on there. So they could also discover that, and myself under Joseph Mercado on Facebook and social media. Great.
Yeah, that's a lot of great resources, so be sure to tap into them. And because we are getting to the end here, real quick, Joe, what type of people would seek most interest in attending Mastermind University, and what would be one thing that you would want to leave our listeners with?
So people, like I said, who are looking to develop or already have that entrepreneurial spirit, that want to become an entrepreneur, because I feel that, if people really want to create their own economy and not worry about the economy from without, but create the one from within, they need to create their own path and control their own destiny. And by doing so, it's teaming up with a like-minded educational environment, that delivers that kind of information, that kind of influence, and which are jam-packed inside different various courses. So I think for someone who's looking to become an entrepreneur, or maybe who's already on the path and they're struggling and they're not sure where to go, the direction, maybe they're already successful and they're just looking for more information to add to their arsenal of thinking, those are the kind of people, individuals that I would recommend to take a look at Mastermind University. And just a little nugget of wisdom that I like to leave everybody with is that in life, no matter what challenges you come about, no matter what difficult circumstances you face, as long as you're taking a little bit of action every day, it'll accumulate to massive results at the end of each month. And not to give up, and not to throw in the towel, and not to want to quit, because we're all going to feel that way at points. We're going to get frustrated with ourselves. You even may be feeling like that even right now. But regardless of what your situation or what you may be going through, that you can and will persevere as long as you have the want. You got to have that drive. You got to have that internal burning desire and that fire that's lit under your feet, where you don't stop that movement. That movement is what's going to create momentum. That momentum is going to spark that motivation from within you in order for you to take that mode of action, so you can create that inspiration to continue driving up that ladder to success. And I just want to encourage everyone to just don't stop moving in a forward direction, and keep going. Then one thing I'll leave real quick with everyone is, I always had a favorite story my grandmother would read to me as a child. It was called Jack and the Beanstalk. And the reason why I loved that story so much is because I always saw this guy always climbing up this vine, always wanted to reach to the top. And it just reminded me of myself, and I wondered how many other people think like that. And he always had this giant in the way that was looking to take him out or prevent him from getting to the top.
And Joe,
and that I just want to say.
We have seconds. Yeah, that's great. We only have seconds left, so be sure to visit us at CoachCafeRadio.com, where you'll find everything you need to know about today's show and more. Thanks so much, Joe. This was awesome. You are fantastic. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.